In the Group B matches last evening, and we finally saw the home team lose to Uruguay 3-0. We'll talk about all those matches later on in the program, of course, but first let's take a look at what's in store for us today. 4 big matches, of course, and we'll talk about all of them over the next 15 or 20 minutes. The pressure will be off France when they meet Denmark in their final Group C fixture. They've already reached the round of 16, while Denmark also has a chance to join them in the round of 16 if they win. The Danes must win if they want to progress to the next phase. Even a loss could get them into the knockout stage if Australia cannot beat already eliminated Peru and improve their goal difference by a significant enough margin to leapfrog them. With Yusuf Poulsen suspended, coach Age Haride will be forced to reshuffle his attacking lineup. He will also be hoping to see Denmark improve their possession-based football in the final third of the pitch. France, of course, started their World Cup campaign with a less than impressive 2-1 victory over Australia. They followed it up with a 1-0 victory over Peru, which saw Kylian Mbappe becoming the youngest ever goal scorer in a World Cup for France. He will be a player to look out for today as well. And joining me in the studio today to talk about these matches is Nilanjan Datta, senior sports journalist, and with us is Jyoti Parit, former Indian national player. Thank you to the both of you for joining me on the program today. Pleasure. Nilanjan, let me start off with you first, of course. In this particular match, Denmark versus France, what's likely to happen here?
Loving the mind games which are being played, especially from the Danish camp. Nowadays, with modern football, every pre-match build-up is more or less the coaches saying, okay, they are a good team, we will be playing well, playing to our strength. Here's a Danish coach who's gone out of the way, criticized Paul Pogba's call of bringing his hairstylist from London, flying to Moscow. He has went on record to say France are not a good team. So loving this mind games, but maybe France would be tempted to some rest of the players, Matuidi, Paul Pogba, you never know. A huge day for Denmark because it was on this day, history states, they won in 1992 the Euro finals, and I'm sure a call from dad, Peter, to the present goalkeeper would be coming, son, this was the day we did it. You can beat France.
Indeed. And as far as the, formation is concerned, Denmark is most likely to play a 4-3-3 kind of a formation. If you can have that on our screens now, we'll take a look at that as well. Of course, France likely to play a 4-2-1-2-1 kind of a formation. Very different styles as far as these two teams are concerned. Jyoti, as far as the style of play is concerned, Denmark, of course, more a defensive kind of play that they are used to, whereas France will go all out in attack, won't they?
It'll be interesting to see today because one team is obviously fighting to qualify for the next round, whereas the other team has a slightly more comfortable position in the group. So although, France always lines up attacking and, that's how they play, but Denmark's going to be very attacking today, and that's the only way they'd
like to carry on the winning momentum as well to the next round because they won the first 2 matches, but not convincingly. They'd hope to perform better.
Not convincing victories, and going up against a tough opponent today, it's going to be a challenge for them, but I'm sure they're going to be ready.
Player to watch out for as far as France is concerned, Kylian Mbappe, would you think? A youngster who's done well?
Why not? I would still want Paul Pogba to play because there's a different kind of a theory that maybe you rest players, but when you have the winning momentum, why destroy it? My opinion.
Sure. And as far as Denmark is concerned, Jyoti, the strikers will have to do well today if they have to win this match, isn't it?
Yes, they have to score and they can't miss any opportunity they get today because they're going to be few. So they're going to have to be on point, but the defense of the French is, it's good. So they're going to go up against a wall.
Indeed, they are going to go against a wall. It remains to be seen how the defenders, of course, Varane and Umtiti perform in today's match. They will be tested because Denmark will indeed go for the win. Moving on to the other 7:30 match today, of course, where Australia will play Peru while France takes on Denmark. It is a must-win game for the Socceroos, who will also be hoping that Denmark lose to France. Even if both things happen, the Aussies know that they need to win big to get through on goal difference.
Australia will be hopeful while Peru will play for pride when they meet in their final group match in Group C. The South Americans came to Russia with high expectations after making their first World Cup in 36 years, but are already out of the competition, having lost both their matches. However, they can take consolation in the fact that they troubled the mighty French and Danes in their narrow 1-0 defeats. Against the Socceroos, they will be hoping to give their fans some goals to cheer. Australia, on the other hand, is determined to stop them doing just that. They have a point from their 2 games and also hope of advancing to the round of 16 if they beat the Peruvians by a good margin and the already qualified French beat Denmark. If the Aussies and the Danes finish level on points, qualification will come down to goal difference first of all, then goal scored and then fair play. For the Aussies, this is clearly a must-win match. This is the 3rd time in 5 World Cup appearances that Peru have been knocked out in the group phase, while Australia are in their 5th World Cup but have progressed from their group only once before in 2006 in Germany. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Indeed, another match to watch out for as far as Australia and Peru are concerned. Peru knocked out of the tournament, Nilanjan, but Australia, everything to play for as far as they are concerned, because a win and a loss as far as the Danes are concerned can take them through.
Absolutely. Huge and very significant day for Asian football, in fact. But this present Australian team, my opinion is, there are 2 very important players in any football team. One is the number 1, the other is the number 9. They lack the poacher who's kind of in the box, the fox in the box. Come of what may, you may be playing the pressing football, holding football, down the wings. Once you get into the box, who's there? I would personally like someone like Team Cahill to come up. Experience, hugely experienced, let him start. Obvious, there may be other technical reasons which the coach may have. Let him in the maybe the 89, 90th minute, some dramatic goals. We have had some late goals, punching the corner flag. Let an Asian team win. And then you look at the other match as to what's happening out there.
Sure. As far as the team formation is concerned, let's look at Australia first. A 4-2-3-1 formation that Australia will be playing with. 4 defenders, 2 defensive midfielders, 3 attacking midfielders, and an out-and-out centre forward. As far as Peru is concerned, a similar kind of a formation, 4-2-3-1. Again, 4 defenders, 2 defensive midfielders, 3 attacking midfielders, and 1 out-and-out forward. That is the centre forward. You know, Jyoti, as far as Peru is concerned, you know, they are out of the tournament, but they will still have a point to prove in this particular match. We can expect an exciting match, isn't it? Because Australia is going to go for the win, and Peru too will want to leave a mark on this World Cup.
See, I think Peru has really won the hearts of a lot of viewers with how they've played through this tournament. The way they've played is really, they're a side who, the small side who are coming up, but yet they've been up against the top guns and really giving them a run for their money. So when they're going up against Australia today, it doesn't matter that they're out of the competition. They're going to be out there to just play how they usually play, which is all heart and everything they have. So,
are you happy with the way Asians have performed in this particular World Cup, barring South Korea? The others seem to have done reasonably well.
Yes, it's very heartening, you know, as an Asian footballer to see Asian teams going up against the top and doing so well. So I'm going to be backing Australia today, and hopefully they can, you know, get through to the next round. Talking
about Australia, let's look at the player to watch out for as far as Australia is concerned. Matthew Leckie is our pick from the Australian side. 27 years of age, 55 matches, 8 goals. And as far as Peru is concerned, of course, the player to watch out for is Paulo Guerrero, 34 years of age, 91 matches, 35 goals. Let's see how they perform later on, of course. Moving on to the late night matches as far as today's games are concerned. 11:30 p.m. starts. Some important games there as well, where Argentina will play a must-win match against Nigeria if they want to keep alive hopes of reaching the round of 16. Argentina is at the bottom of Group D at the same points as Iceland, but lower on account of goal difference. Nigeria has a real chance of qualifying for the round of 16, placed at second position in the group for now.
Argentinian captain and star Lionel Messi has so far looked stressed and out of his best form at the World Cup. While he missed a penalty in his team's 1-1 draw with Iceland, he was an almost forgotten figure when Croatia stormed over the two-time world champs. Within 11 days, the scales have tilted and Argentina is now looking for a two-pronged survival, beating Nigeria in their last group game and beating them big. Also hoping that Iceland lose to Croatia. Argentina trained at their team base in Bronici near Moscow on Monday morning before they departed for St. Petersburg for their final World Cup Group D match, hoping it will not be their final game in the tournament. Argentina and Nigeria have clashed 8 times before, 4 times at the World Cup, where Argentina has won every time. But the most recent game between the two sides just 8 months ago resulted in a 4-2 loss for Argentina, a memory they would want to overcome. As far as form is concerned, this is the longest Argentina have remained winless at a World Cup. Their last victory came in the 2014 World Cup in the semi-final against the Netherlands. Meanwhile, Nigeria too needs to win the match to assure its place in the round of 16. A draw with Argentina in case of Iceland's victory over Croatia will tie the two on 4 points and leave the advance to the next round to goal difference. Raj Yadav's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, let's take a look at the formation as far as Argentina is concerned. First, that's on your screen right now. Argentina likely to play a 4-2-3-1 kind of a formation. 4 defenders, 2 defensive midfielders, yet again 3 attacking midfielders and 1 out and out forward. And that forward today is likely to be Higuain and not Aguero. As far as the team news is concerned, Nilanjan, all newspapers saying that Higuain could possibly start in place of Kun Aguero today. Any surprises, or do you think that's the right choice?
Maybe yes, maybe no, but it's not only the strike force which they need to change. The entire mentality needs to change. All sorts of reports of the team being divided coming out in all over the social media, the internet. We are not sure sitting out here what it is. Lionel Messi needs to get himself much more involved in the match. Take a leaf out of the book of Luka Modric. Fall down, get the ball, back pass again to Otamendi, move into the center, back pass again down the flanks, one center into the box. No matter whether someone's there or not, the confidence needs to come back. I believe Messi, whenever he's getting the ball, is feeling he needs to dribble past 4-5 footballers, put it into the net. Why? Calm down, take your time, you are too good a player. You will have 4 to 5 shots. Any good player, Jyoti will agree,
right,
will have 4 to 5 shots within the target in the match. The quality is there. Play the waiting game, and once Messi is involved, LM10 is involved, it plays in the minds of the opposition. Hey, the guy is playing.
Sure.
He is not being feeded. The supply line has been chopped off. Argentina needs to do that.
Yeah, he shouldn't try too much is what Nilanjan is saying. You know, just get the ball in the box and try and score the goal like some of the others have done. Ronaldo and Luka Modric have done that for their respective teams, and their teams are doing well thus far in the tournament. Nigeria, let's take a look at how they will line up in this particular match. Most probably a 4-2-3-1 kind of a formation, similar as that of Argentina. So tactically, it will be an interesting game to watch. 4 defenders, 2 midfielders, 3 attacking midfielders, and 1 out-and-out striker. You know, as far as Nigeria is concerned, Jyoti, they've been, impressive in spurts. They have done extremely well thus far. They have a great chance of proceeding into the next round. Musa seems to be in great form as well.
Yeah, nothing to lose for Nigeria. They're going into this game underdogs, and they came into the World Cup underdogs, and in a tough group. They're quick, so this is a very quick side, and I feel that's something that Argentina are going to have to think about, because Nigeria is going to be looking for counters and attacking on that counter, and we've seen how quick Musa is. So I think with their change formation as well, they played a different formation in the last game, so I don't know whether the formation they're playing today is going to work for them as well as it did in the last game, but it'll be interesting to see. They're going to go all out, and I want to see if they get the counters right.
And there's news that Di Maria could be starting today as well. He was left out of the previous match, so that could also be a factor, because experience also at the end of the day counts. Of course, we'll have to wait and see what happens in that 11:30 p.m. start. Talking about 11:30 p.m. start, Iceland will be looking to beat Croatia to book its place in the round of 16. Croatia, one of the most enterprising teams in this World Cup, are leading Group D after handing defeats to a strong Nigerian side in the opener and contenders Argentina in the second. Meanwhile, Iceland had impressed in its opener, stalling Argentina to a draw, but lost the initiative to go down 0-2 against the powerful and muscular Nigerians. While they clash with Croatia, they will also have one eye on Nigeria's match against Argentina. A Nigerian victory would eliminate the World Cup debutants, but a draw in that match or an Argentina win would give Iceland a chance. Croatia, on the other hand, have already qualified to the round of 16. Advancing to the knockout stages of the World Cup would be the biggest achievement in Icelandic football history after failing to qualify at all 12 times earlier. Bilanjan, your thoughts on Iceland versus Croatia?
Very, very tricky match. In fact, whom do you back? On one side you want Argentina to qualify. On one side you want Iceland to qualify. Very tricky. It won't be that easy, but Croatia are on a roll at the present moment. Again, the temptation to maybe rest some of the players. Maybe that gives the Croats, the Icelandic, it gives Iceland a slightly more chance of getting it through. But you cannot have your eye on the other match. Do and focus and do your job in this match, and then look around.
Jyoti, are you going to go with the underdog today, or you would like Argentina to go through?
Well, I'm a bit torn because I'm an underdog person, but I do want to see Messi continue his run in this World Cup, I think, because this is his last World Cup. So I'm very torn, I think Croatia are a very strong team, and the way they played, they've been the most impressive team for me at least. So I feel that they're going to win today. Your dark horse as far as this tournament is concerned, Definitely. Or would that be another team, maybe Belgium? No, Croatia. I would say Croatia. Okay, all right. On that note, then we'll slip into a short break. On the other side, we'll take a look at the matches that took place last evening. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
देखिए विशेष मेरे साथ आज शाम 7:30 बजे सिर्फ राज्यसभा टीवी पर।
Well, Spain will take on the host Russia in the knockout match this weekend after it finished on the top of Group B thanks to a 2-2 draw with Morocco last night. Substitute Iago Aspas struck in stoppage time to earn Spain a dramatic 2-2 draw after Morocco took a 2-1 lead minutes before.
Morocco showed amazing spirit and grit to stall the 2010 world champions to a nervous 2-2 draw. Putting behind its back-to-back defeats, which have ousted the team from the World Cup, Morocco looked sharp and strong, taking the lead in the 14th minute and again in the 81st minute. Snatching the ball from Sergio Ramos in midfield, Khaled Boutaid ran through alone and coolly slotted Morocco's first goal. 5 minutes later, order was swiftly restored with Isco scoring an equalizer for Spain after a lovely volley play between him and Andreas Iniesta. Morocco returned in the second half with even more sense of purpose and direction. Nordin Amrabat nearly gave the North Africans the lead in the 56th minute when his thunderbolt from 25 yards clanged off the far post and crossbar. But it was not over for the Moroccans as Yusuf El Nesiri's brilliant header put his side 2-1 ahead with just 9 minutes remaining. Spain finally prized out an equaliser as substitute Iago Aspas struck in stoppage time. Though the goal was initially ruled as being offside but was finally awarded after a lengthy VAR review amid chaotic scenes on the pitch. The result meant Spain took itself past Portugal and earned the top spot in Group B on count of higher goals scored. They will meet hosts Russia this weekend. Vaibhav Raj Shukla's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
We don't have anyone to do sports. Well, there you have it, of course. Spain versus Morocco, 2-2 draw there. Are you surprised at all with the way goals have been coming in injury time in this particular World Cup? Several goals, several matches being drawn or won in injury time.
No complaints. No complaints. Why should one have a complaint at all? Absolutely no complaint. I believe Spain would be a bit more relieved to face Russia despite being the host nation. Good that they wins. I believe they would be a bit more relieved to avoid Uruguay.
Sure. And Jyoti, what struck out for you as far as this match was concerned between Morocco and Spain?
Again, the chink in the Spanish defense, which I had said would happen yesterday. So that's something that they need to address. Obviously, Ramos didn't have his best game. And of course, Isco stood out for me again.
Sure. Okay, moving on now to the other match that was played yesterday. Portugal made it to the round of 16, but not before being given a scare by spirited Iran, who impressed all with their performance, holding the Europeans to a 1-1 draw. The match was a big reality check for Portugal, who failed to convert their chances, including a penalty missed by star Cristiano Ronaldo. The Portuguese will now clash with dangerous-looking Uruguay in the knockout game this weekend.
Portugal was tested all through the match by Iran in their last group match. Though they ensured their entry into the next round, last night's game has given them ample reasons to look back and assess their performance before taking on Uruguay in the round of 16. The European side took the lead after Ricardo Quaresma scored a stunning goal in the 45th minute. The 34-year-old, who was making his World Cup debut, curled the ball past the outstretched hands of goalkeeper Ali Raza Bayranvand. There were several moments of anxiety and frustration for Portugal. Bayranvand, one of the best hands in this World Cup, blocked several advances. His heroics included a stunning save of Ronaldo's penalty in the 51st minute, something that will haunt the world's #1 player for days to come. Just as it looked the game was well over Iran's reach, Ansari Fard converted a penalty in stoppage time to make it 1-1. Seconds later, Iran got a golden chance to make it past the winning line, but Wahid Amiri hit the side netting. Needing a win to have any realistic chance of advancing to the knockouts, Iran were well organized at the back and defended stoically, but did not have enough men going forward. Portugal finished the group stage tied on 5 points with Spain and will now take on Uruguay in the knockout match on Saturday. Kumar Abhishek's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, let's take a look at the table, that is the Group B table, where Spain are on top, Portugal in second place, Iran in third and Morocco in fourth. Spain and Portugal go through to the next round of the tournament. You know, Lanjan, as far as next round of matches are concerned, we can start talking about them already because we know who's playing whom. Spain versus Russia, Portugal versus Uruguay. A tricky match, do you think, for Portugal as far as the Uruguayans are concerned?
Absolutely. They would have been much more willing to play Russia despite being the host nation. Can be one of the costliest penalties ever. You never know. Uruguay, the quality in the Uruguayan side, especially the attack, is something which can trouble the Portuguese defense. Portugal have not been, the quality of Portugal is they have not been playing hugely great brand of football, but have been winning each and every day.
Sure.
Luis Suarez biting Cristiano Ronaldo? Never know.
You know, let's talk about Iran versus Portugal now before we look ahead. Iran could have easily won that match against Portugal and gone through. You know, the problem with some of the Asian sides and some of the African sides is the last few yards, isn't it? I mean, finishing in the box is poor and it costs them matches.
Yeah, in fact, they missed a great chance in like extra time yesterday. So it comes down to small mistakes, small things. That's the difference now between a big team and a small team. And that's how we've been seeing, games played out so close now. So it's really just the clinical finishing that the big teams are doing.
Sure. All right. One more match was played during the course of the day yesterday, of course. It was a 7:30 p.m. start as well, where Saudi Arabia prized an honourable exit from the FIFA World Cup, beating Egypt 2-1 in their last group match last evening. Both teams were playing for their honour after being eliminated early. It was also Saudi Arabia's first win in a World Cup finals match since 1994. Egyptian talisman Mohamed Salah scored in the 22nd minute to give Egypt the lead. Salman Al Faraj scored the equaliser in extra time for the first half through a penalty, saving the Saudis from a whitewash. And the winner for Saudi Arabia came in stoppage time through Salem Al Dawsari's angled shot, pushing Saudi Arabia to finish third in their group. The match was, however, a bitter disappointment for the Egyptian side, with Liverpool striker Salah unable to prevent 3 consecutive defeats for his country. Egyptian keeper Essam Al-Hadri became the oldest player ever to appear in a World Cup at 45 years of age, and made a spectacular save from a Fahad Al-Muwalad penalty after 41 minutes. Well, as far as the Saudis are concerned, a good result for them, beating Egypt. Everyone expected Egypt to do well in this particular tournament, all because of Mohamed Salah's prowess at club level football. But World Cup is a different thing altogether, isn't it?
Absolutely. And also you need to remember that he wasn't the usual self after his shoulder got dislocated. Maybe he forced himself into the World Cup, but as you say, spot on. The World Cup is at least a different level. The kind of support you have in club football, you are not entitled to have it, or the luxury and the privilege of having it in the Egyptian national side. Meaning no offense to anyone. Maybe that was one of the reasons.
Indeed, and Saudi and Egypt, go back to the drawing board now, try and rebuild their teams. But at the end of the day, some honor, because they've given the other teams a fight, barring, of course, Russia.
Yeah, I mean, it's great for them, it's great for their countries. I think it's going to lead to so much development of football back home for them. And these players can hold their heads high because they really did impress.
And the other match, of course, Russia's impressive start to the World Cup ended as they had a man sent off and were easily defeated by Uruguay in their final group match. Both teams have qualified for the next round, but this victory sent Uruguay to the top of Group A. Uruguay will now play Portugal in the last 16, while host Russia plays Spain. Uruguay gained a lead early on when Luis Suarez drilled in a clever low free kick only in the 10th minute. It got worse soon after a Diego Laxalt effort from 25 yards was deflected in by Denis Cheryshev. Russian captain and keeper Igor Akinfeev did make good with his glove later in the match, blocking a Rodrigo chance. Igor Smolnikov was soon sent off 35 minutes into his World Cup debut, leading the hosts with 10 men. After the break, Russia composed themselves and managed to wrest back some control of the match, but Uruguay managed to keep their lead. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this telecast of the FIFA World Cup. Thank you to both my guests for joining me on the program and sharing your perspectives with me. That's all the time we have today. See you again next time.
Sports, the spirit of India.